If you're working with RCM or ACES and staying in a scene-referred space, there are a few extra steps you have to take while working in Fusion to make the view look correct. Let's see what those are. I'll open up a project. I'll press Shift-1, and we'll start with the RCM system. So I'll open Alexa Red RCM. Right mouse button click and choose Open. So while I'm in the Fusion tab, everything looks correct. But let's refresh our memories about what's going on here. There are two clips, the Alexa clip and the red clip. If I go to Project Settings, we'll see that we're using RCM, and the timeline and the output color space are set to Rec. 709. So it looks like everything's working. However, let's compare the view here to the view in Fusion. It's close, but it looks like the view inside Fusion is darker. And this is when the LUT button is turned on. So when you switch to a scene-referred system, like RCM, Fusion gives you a default set of LUTs. If you look at the LUT menu, it looks like it's just set to Fusion View LUT. So the complete set of LUTs you might be using are not always indicated here in this menu. If you want to see what LUTs are truly being used, you have to go down to the Edit option. And in fact, you'll see there's a Managed LUT and the Fusion View LUT. You can expand any of the LUTs by double-clicking on the name. The Managed LUT is actually the same as the Gamut tool. This is designed to transform one color space to another. The output space is set to sRGB, and that's not bad, but you can see how it doesn't quite match the other tabs. If you want a better match, you actually need to try to find a color space that matches your output color space as set by your project settings. If you scroll through the list, there are a couple Rec. 709 options. And if you are using RCM, I found that the display variation of Rec. 709 works the best. Once you choose that, you'll see the view updates. Go ahead and close this, and we'll hop back and forth between tabs. Very close now. Now, of course, if you turn the LUT button off, it looks quite different. And that might be difficult to work with. So you probably want to leave the LUT button on while you're working in RCM. Now, if you have a different output space, perhaps you're going to a digital projector, you want to find a color space that matches. You can do that directly through that Managed LUT and choose something else from the output space. The other option is to not use these LUTs and add your own. You can turn off a LUT by clicking its on-off switch. You can even delete a LUT if you right mouse button click and go to delete. You can see if there's another LUT that's more appropriate through the LUT list. And once again, if there is a LUT that is missing, you can add your own LUTs to Resolve, and we'll demonstrate that later on. So keep in mind, if you are using RCM or ACES, you might need to adjust the LUT to make the view match the other tabs. Now, if I was using ACES, I consider using a different LUT. I'd go back to Edit, back to the Managed LUT. And here I found that if I switch over to the scene-referred variation of Rec. 709, it actually matches a bit better. But you'll have to test it and see what works for your particular project. I'll go back to the display. With this version of Resolve and Resolve 17, unfortunately, if you save the project out and open it back up later, the project does not actually save how the Managed LUT is set. So if you open up the project again, you might see it set once again to sRGB. Now, a workaround for that is to simply turn off your LUT and apply a color space transform right within your network by adding additional tools. And that will always be saved by the project. And we'll take a look at that in the next video.